Teresa Timms, president of TDR Mortgage and Upland, California. I'm with my partner Jocelyn, and we are part of the Victor and Carolina team, and we get asked about first-time buyer programs all the time. Now, there are some restrictions and limitations to the buyer programs. So we wanted to break down the pros and cons of the buyer programs today. So what you're telling me is I can buy a house using a buyer program and I have to put no money down, just the escrow deposit of $2,000, but I can only buy a house of like $300,000. If I just do regular FHA, I can buy $400,000. I don't understand why.
Okay, so
because I want the $400,000 house.
Everyone wants the $400,000 house, of course, but a lot of people really just want to buy a house and they don't have enough money for, let's say, FHA 3.5% down. This is where the first-time buyer programs come. You know what? I don't have money down, so I want to use the program. It's going to benefit me, and I want to just own a house.
Okay.
So there's restrictions. Debt to income ratio is the biggest one. The way we calculate it is how much money you make versus what your expenses are. With a lot of the programs, we're restricted at a 43 to 45% ratio of housing, meaning you can make
housing and debts.
Yes,
so
housing
your
and
house
debts.
payment and your debts cannot exceed 43 to 45% of your total income. Versus with like regular FHA, we can go much higher to like a 56%. 56% of your income, it can go to debts and a house payment. So 43% to 56, that's a huge difference. And that's why there's such a big spread between 300,000 and 400,000. What are the other limitations?
The other limitations are different programs have restrictions in different areas. So
Really?
the program might just be available in a certain zip code or certain streets of the zip code because they're considered low income houses.
So they want to better serve those communities
Correct.
and build home ownership in those communities.
Correct.
So they're more liberal whether or not you have to be a first-time buyer or your debt ratios or income limits, right?
Yes. Another thing is credit score. So a lot of them require you to have at least a 640 credit score. A lot of people say, well, I have 650. Well, we all have 3 credit scores.
Mm-hmm.
So the way they calculate which one they're going to use out of the 3 is whichever one is the middle one. That's why we need to run your credit. It's not because we want your credit score to go down. It's just because
Right.
in order to evaluate which program you qualify for or guide you and what you can do with your credit to qualify for the program, we need to run your credit.
Now, given all of these restrictions, just know that we are experts at qualifying people. And if you want creative solutions, sometimes you can step outside of a box to find a solution. And oftentimes, other lenders, they don't go into depth or they just don't have the skills and knowledge that we have. We know and understand guidelines. And in fact, I study guidelines. I go to classes every week to keep my knowledge current. Don't worry, we got you. You pick up that phone and give us a call. I can't wait to hear from you.